Deep in the martial history of the Ayutthaya Kingdom, Thai mystics engineered a specific class of military spell known as Maha Ragap. Translated as Great Suppression, it was designed for one highly specific purpose: to project a localized field that freezes existential threats in their tracks. Today, collectors buy antique talismans bearing the Maha Ragap name and assume they are getting a generic catch-all shield against bad luck. That assumption is incredibly dangerous. Deploying the wrong suppression mechanic during a crisis is like bringing a fire extinguisher to a physical ambush. The tool might work perfectly, but you will still get hurt because you misdiagnosed the threat. This diagram maps out the reality of Maha Ragap. Three legendary Thai masters, Luang Por Tiem, Luang Por Kong, and Luang Por Kun, each inherited the base suppression spell, but their final artifacts diverge completely in how they actually execute that suppression. One master engineered a broad environmental shield, requiring extensive daily rituals to maintain. Another built a tactical panic button, meant to trigger immediate physical invulnerability during a sudden attack. And the third weaponized psychological trance states to neutralize mass threats without firing a shot. Surviving a crisis requires treating these artifacts not as magic wands, but as specialized spiritual technologies. You have to perfectly align the hardware with your actual threat landscape. We start with Luang Por Tiem of Wat Kasathra Thirat. His primary artifact is a massive 12-inch lead cylinder coated in herbs and gold leaf. At that size, it is completely useless for carrying in your pocket. It is designed for high-level structural defense. This specific lineage holds an elite historical pedigree. Derived directly from the battle spells of King Narizwan, Luang Por Tiem's iteration was so highly regarded for state-level protection that a specialized version was presented directly to the Thai monarchy. This flowchart shows the stringent user inputs required. Housed on a household shrine, the user performs a 108-syllable incantation to brew holy water. This projects a wide-area pacification zone, cooling legal disputes, preventing fires, and neutralizing bad karma before it manifests. But look at the trade-off. Because of its massive size and the lengthy ritual required to activate it, this talisman offers zero protection if you are suddenly ambushed in the street. Luang Por Tiem's magic functions as heavy preemptive infrastructure for homeowners and litigants. It is not a reactive tactical weapon. Contrast that with Luang Por Kong of Wat Bong Kapom. He operated during the Second World War, a highly volatile environment where daily life involved immediate physical danger. This activation sequence requires entirely different physical inputs. Wearing a compact talisman during a sudden ambush, the user triggers a split-second breath-holding mantra, Manusa Tunhi. This instantly triggers physical invulnerability, halting kinetic threats and casting a protective radius over anyone traveling with them. It is an abrupt, forceful halting of kinetic energy. This unmatched physical defense made Luang Por Kong's artifact the favored tool of fleeing outlaws. Historical records note that police guns repeatedly fail to fire when aiming at suspects carrying this specific talisman, drawing intense scrutiny from law enforcement. That scrutiny eventually forced Luang Por Kong to throw the vast majority of his remaining inventory into the sea, making genuine pieces exceptionally rare today. He engineered a tactical panic button for sudden survival. You trade the broad environmental piece of Luang Por Tiem for instantaneous physical invulnerability. Finally, we have Luang Por Kun of Wat Pra Non. His Maya Rock talisman abandons physical defense entirely in favor of tactical psychological incapacitation. This flowchart illustrates the Maya Rock deployment. Named after a demon that puts armies to sleep, the talisman is placed tactically on a structural beam. This triggers a localized psychological trance, putting entire hostile groups into a deep sleep, neutralizing threats without shedding blood. It is a creeping, non-violent yet overwhelming suppression of human consciousness. But the trade-off here is severe. Because the spell manipulates the minds of others, it demands flawless moral discipline. If a user deploys the Maya Rob talisman to commit a crime, the magic permanently voids itself, triggering severe spiritual blowback. Luang Por Kun's artifact is a weapon of mass pacification. It trades physical force for absolute psychological dominance, strictly bounded by the user's ethics. Acquiring a master talisman is useless if its historical mechanism does not solve your modern crisis. This matrix maps out exactly how to align your personal vulnerabilities with the correct lineage. Profile 1 is the homeowner or litigant. You face prolonged legal battles or property threats, and you have the time to perform daily rituals. Your match is Luang Por TM. Your trade-off: you accept the burden of daily holy water brewing and managing a heavy, non-portable artifact. Profile 2 is the active defender. You operate in high-risk physical environments, travel in groups, and require split-second halting power. Your match is Luang Por Kong. Your trade-off: you navigate a market flooded with fakes, paying a massive premium for rare pieces surviving the sea. Profile 3 is the tactical evader. You neutralize large groups without physical confrontation, and you possess ironclad moral discipline. Your match is Luang Por Kun. Your trade-off: you gain psychological dominance, but risk the total, permanent loss of the asset if you cross an ethical boundary. Mysticism is no shortcut. These artifacts are highly specialized tools, requiring a brutally honest assessment of your vulnerabilities, environment, and personal discipline to deploy effectively.